Hello, hello, you guys. Hope you're doing well and in high spirits. This is a reading for the number 17. So if you've been seeing the number 17 a lot, it's catching your attention whenever, and this very well may clarify what 17 is trying to say. Spirit, what is 17 trying to communicate? A lot of alignment here. Interesting, we're having this card a lot right now in a lot of the number clarifications and even some of the sign readings. It's kind of like all the synchronicities, all the repetition, all of it connecting us to everything. That reminder that it is a part of this very synchronistic, time is not linear, our existence is not, it's not necessarily spherical, it's just our interpretation, our perception, it's all happening all at once, everything is connected, there is no real distance, all of this kind of energy and a lot of alignment and a lot of pulling us back here to this quantum shift vibe as well. What else is 17 communicating? Please and thank you. What is 17 communicating? Also, 17, so the number 1 is a number of, as we would interpret it, beginnings and singularity. Okay, there's a strength as well in the number 1 in relation to this reading. So standing tall within self, in a sense, on the own. I don't feel as much of an isolation as I normally would either with, in different contexts, to see a 1. And with the 7, it's a very spiritual number. It's also a number of the unknown, of what's hidden, but it also connected to the universal forces. So breaking that down, it feels like the beginning of a spiritual journey, all right? Or standing on your own within an unknown space, an unknown path, an unknown journey. It's kind of about, if you break it down that way, having trust, belief, faith in the journey ahead, right? There's a lot of that theme coming through here. A lot about the earth is here as well. Some of that journey could be very connected to the nature, earth, rediscovering our own nature and how that's connected to the patterns of the nature outside of us, right? You've got the alchemy magic here as well. So I do feel, that manifestation energy here, a lot of angelic, matrix type of vibes as well going on in this. Also a feeling that more options will be available and present than you may yet realize on this journey or on this new journey. A lot about foundation here with all the 4s as well. 17 could be trying to communicate new journeys that Spirit is kind of taking over, leading, carrying for you. And this could be affecting where you live or your foundation somehow. Also having multiple experiences at the same time, at once. You've got this movement, this speed here. You've got a lot of heart-based energy and nature energy as well. So let's go ahead and see what 17 is in this book as well. As one door closes, another door opens. Exact. Angels are with you to help direct your thoughts in a positive way. Okay, nice. I especially like this one door closing and another opens. Okay. It does feel like, it does feel like you're on a new path, a new journey, some kind of a new travel. And it's like, I just feel this giving over some of that trust in a way, because it might be hard sometimes to do that, but it's like having that faith that no matter if you can't see the way or you don't know what will happen next, you're trusting yourself here. Connecting to the nature can help you do that, trusting yourself, trusting Spirit, trusting your guides, trusting that guidance, trusting just the forces within you and outside of you, even if they feel unknown or like you can't always see them. All right. Great. What other messages is 17 trying to convey here? Please and thank you. Nice. I feel a lot of the burden and the struggle of always having to either blowing in the wind like aimlessly in a way where you don't feel like you have any direction and all the burden is falling on you and you're always having to work extra hard or everything feels extra difficult. Something about this, it feels like the more you trust, surrender into this beginnings, into this flow, into the faith, the spirit, the trust, whatever that is for you, whatever it looks like for you. It's like the easier that burden is, the more it lifts, the easier things flow, the easier they are in many ways, because you're just kind of riding these waves more. Definitely putting a burden down. This could also talk about relocation not being as burdensome as it's been before, or some kind of shift with your foundations being easier than it was before. There could be a sense of freedom here that you're coming through with, an excitement, a passion, dancing to the beat of your own drum here. For some of you, this is talking about a happy union after this time frame. For others, this is talking about like letting go more. There is something about letting go a bit more with the 17, I think, that's coming through. And of course, Knight of Wands is a fire sign, so Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, but it doesn't have to be quite so literal. What else is 17 trying to say? Yeah, a lot of stuff is going to be clarified to you. You're going to be more in touch with how you feel, and it's going to be better. It's kind of an energy of feeling better. Feeling more emotionally clear, centered, moving forwards. Everything is moving forwards, if you notice. And in a pretty nice way. It is also a fast kind of energy here I'm seeing. There's a lot of gratitude I feel you giving as well, a grateful energy. And there's a lot of support from the ancestors here that shows through in this reading a bit extra, okay? I feel like your ancestors have a really great respect for the earth, or for a way of living that is connected to, I don't know, gardening, to being more connected to your food, or more connected to what comes from the earth, you know, like more connected to it and thinking with that, thinking through that lens in a way. There could be land as well that you're inheriting here, or something about land that is a space that's being made for you, like a land or something for you to have, to be comfortable, or to, feels like more nature, could be like land, yeah, or something. And it may not be a literal land like that your ancestors owned, but it could be energetically a land that is from them, that you end up being a part of, or having, or being able to be on. What else is 17 communicating, please? This is so interesting. A lot of these number alignments these days are connecting to completion. So I don't know if everybody on the channel here, or multiple people, are like seeing these numbers as well. Because like I know I've been seeing 444 like crazy. I've been seeing a little bit of 555. I was seeing 222. I've been seeing a lot of 17. That's why we're here, because it just keeps, grabbing. So yeah, because I keep seeing this huge, the world is like such a huge completion, It's a big one. It's where we've really completed a huge cycle. Sometimes the cycle can extend past our lifetime. And what I feel with this world is that there's tons of expansion here. There's a real understanding of what the limitation is and where it's come from and what it actually means. Like, she's recognizing in this picture in a way that she's never really been in. It's like a dimensional understanding. Like, she could have seen this circle around her as a limitation, and now she's recognizing it's the snake eating its own tail. It's the way she's viewing it. It's the knowledge. It's the information that she has. It's actually a balance point, and she's having a more dimensional awareness where she's understanding it's just a circle, and she could literally move out of this circle frontwards, backwards. But before, she was looking at it as up, down, side, side, But it's like a new understanding that is expanding everything and helping us to come into, new cycles, new energy. What else is 17 trying to communicate? Please and thank you. Yeah, for some of you, there could be a relief from a marriage, union, or connection, but I see a happy one in your future, perhaps. It doesn't have to be literally a marriage, though. This could also be like leases and contracts and official agreements, or even just spiritual contracts. Okay, this could also be like contracts you have with your creativity or passion, or, something like this as well. I do think also 17 is talking about a new path away from so much fear-based mindset into a more unlimited mindset. Clarify this in connection to 17, please. And thank you. Again, 7 of Pentacles. It's like 17 is telling you this is something new, This is something new. You might think it's the same old, but there's so much more growth and progress going on beneath the surface than you might realize. It's not the same thing, all right? Sometimes you could feel stuck in loops connected to your childhood and not realize how you've grown, or connected to the old days and not realize how much they've grown because you're used to that, But then you get some kind of perspective and you see it's like it really is ending, it really is changing. And there's a sadness to that a little bit, because it's like it's the real end of something and the realizing that it is. But it's also the way life is. It's the part of the growth. And sometimes when we go beyond the veil or the hurts or the pains or the angers, we recognize that really, in the end, how hard we love, how much we care, how unconditional and inherent our love is, especially for people or family members or pets or whoever in our life, and how that's actually the real pain just comes from, the love that was challenged. But when we come back to that at the end, we realize how everything has its life cycle, everything has its time, it has its growth, and there's actually quite an intense sadness to see when something is at the end, and we recognize that some of that hurt we hold, or that those loops that we hold, there's also a bit of a fear there, just that something will end, even if it's the worst thing ever, because no matter what, there's this deep inherent love in that and bond, and we can't change that no matter how much something hurts us. And so when we start to get really honest with ourselves, we realize that more what's happening often is we are stunting our own growth because we are afraid to let go and lose, or feel that we must let go of that which we actually love so much. I don't know if that made sense, because it was really hard to verbalize that, but it's a really emotional message. But I'm really getting a lot of that from these 2 cards. But if you see like the boy and the dog start, and then along this journey, they grow, and it's like this is the last dish. And they both feel like this puppy and this little boy still in some ways, but the reality is they're not. And this might be the end of this doggo's life, and you could see the look on this man's face is like sad. Like he's gonna really have to say goodbye to, man, second reading today, super emotional. I don't know what's going on, but the energy seems to be really like realizations, and really emotional realizations today. Also, I think sometimes we're afraid to admit the truth to ourselves because we think that it's something bad, that we're somehow bad. But deep down, it's not anything about that. There's definitely a letting go of, or the end of something that's been with us a long time. And even though it's beautiful and amazing to expand into the new and get new perspectives, there's still sometimes that sadness of, releasing. So, all right, what else is 17 trying to communicate? Please and thank you. Clarify, please. Clarify, please. This is interesting. One more, please. Or that. This is interesting because it's like you knew all along so much, and but you let yourself forget so that you can really be in the play, in the play of life on the stage, that you can really get lost in the character. And sometimes we need to get lost so that we can recover ourselves. We need the contrast. And here, it's like you've let yourself be deceived sometimes, or you've deceived yourself. You've lied to yourself maybe about what's actually the heartbreak. It's like you needed these events and people as much as they needed you. It's like you knew exactly what you were doing somewhere in here, and what you were trying to hold off or delay or gain or gather again on a very subconscious, deep level here. We know in our in our deep depths in our makeup, we often know that we're not going to grow in comfort. It doesn't mean we can't grow in comfort, but as an example, it's like we understand that sometimes the way to liberation, for example, or the freedom that we know we're here to obtain, is to go back into the darkest corners and relive something, or be pushed to the point that we have no other choice. Because we know that certain bonds are that strong and unbreakable unless they are broken. And to break a bond sometimes requires a great deal of happening. And it's usually not very easy. I do think you've gotten a lot more clarity around certain deceptions in your life here, from inside of you and around you. I do feel like you're somebody who is feeling both heartache and heart growth and relief at the same time. This could happen a lot in your life where you're accessing these contradicting simultaneous states and not understanding how to hold them. Maybe you swim between each. Maybe you go up and then you go down and then you go back, you go forth. And there's something probably that wants to come in to help you hold both forces at once with an understanding. It could be part of what you're growing towards here. I'm also seeing a relief, from anxiety that's been present. I feel like you've known, it's like your higher self is so strong in this reading, and it knows all, it knows everything. But it also feels that higher self, if we call it that, is a part of you that you've been accessing more and more and more. So you guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and make an extended reading. If you want to continue, it'll be the first link below, but we'll get more in depth with this for those of you that want to join us. For those of you who are leaving here, much love. Thank you a lot for receiving this, and you can always email us for personal readings. Take care.